So if you don't know what Attack on Titan is, I'm sorry, I don't know where you've been. You've missed absolute peak. You've basically missed the equivalent of being sick, not being able to go to school, and there's a fucking pizza party. And you missed a school fight, and you missed the day your crush actually would have dated you. Because fucking hell, that is never gonna happen. But anyway, I'm not much of an anime expert anymore. I do love binging the occasional anime that's been hyped up in the community, but Attack on Titan has been around for 10 years. I watched the first episode when my first pubic hair probably fucking appeared. Never mind, I did the math, that would have been impossible. But it has been around a long time. Even though the first season kind of left us at a cliffhanger for well over almost 4 years, and every Attack on Titan fan had fucking withdrawal symptoms to the point where they're probably on the baseline of murder. And then fucking season 2 hit, and that shit fucking hit harder than your dad's belt. I consider Attack on Titan season 2 the best season. Not just because the story basically opened up the world like somebody spreading their ass cheeks, and you slowly learn that some characters that you've known for a while are not actually the characters you think they were. And not just because the fight scenes were just as epic as when you finally land a hit on your older brother and they're actually hurt, but then they get up and just pound you into the fucking ground. That's probably just a personal experience for me. But the absolute peak of that season was the Sasagi opening. You can't tell me that shit does not hit harder than 1945, the fucking fat man hitting Japan. But after 10 years and a month, I don't know why they added the month on the end there, I don't know why they made it not 10 years, but after 10 years, it's finally over. But you know, the manga kind of finished earlier than the anime, but the anime is finally over. And I'm going to be honest, I'm very sad about it. Like, the amount of times I rewatched this anime when they had nothing to do is probably in the ballpark of like 3 to 4 times. And there's not a lot of animes or shows like Attack on Titan, where initially the plot starts simple and it just gets more and more complex and characters start becoming these entirely different people. But it's over after 10 years. And I'm going to say the ending, I'm not really a fan of. And yet, there is going to be spoilers ahead. First of all, they changed a lot from the manga, which makes me sound like an absolute nerd. They changed something from the original? But one of the things they changed, if they actually implemented it, would have been the funniest thing. And it is where Armin thanks Eren for committing genocide. Yes, Eren, thank you for becoming the next Adolf Hitler. They instead changed it with, I'll see you in hell, Eren. Which is just such a downgrade. They also added a few things like you can actually see Mikasa die in the end, or at least she's getting buried, which I did not like. I just wanted to assume in my parasocial mind that, you know, she went off, she lived her life, but no, we see her dead. But it is kind of sweet because she never forgot Eren, even though she, I think, had a husband in the end scene, which I hope to God was not Jean. Yeah, I'm a hater. But you can see that all the characters basically lived their lives. At least until the invention of nuclear weapons. But Isayama, the author, is basically saying that, you know, humanity never changes, we're all going to hate each other anyway, or find a difference we're going to hate in somebody. We're basically all fucked to repeat the cycle. Which was a touch I liked and I thought kind of made sense. But the big thing everyone hated when the manga came out was the fact that everyone found out that Eren did this all for them, but mainly Mikasa, and he wanted her never to forget him, and he went on this massive rant whilst he's crying and probably has snot everywhere like a toddler. All he ever wanted was to be with Mikasa and everyone else, and he didn't want to die. But he also didn't want everyone on his homeland to get fucking genocided, so he genocided them before they could genocide him and his friends. He really threw a Uno reverse card out there. But with this massive genocide going on, he can make his friends look like the heroes when they kill him, and therefore the cycle of hatred will end. But he knows deep down that war never changes.
War never changes.
Yeah, that's a Fallout reference. And humans never change. There will be more war and conflict over the smallest things, but at least he can provide a little bit of time for his friends to have a fully lived life and die happy, with no more war or conflict they've already been through. And you can generally tell in this scene he's always loved Mikasa, and he's never been able to say it. But if she would have exclaimed her love for him, he would have ran away in that instant, dropped everything, and just went, as you can see in the little daydream she's having that he made. Now, what do you think the internet did with this entire message? This entire wholesome message about somebody sacrificing themselves so their friend can live on. They called him a simp, or he was mad over pussy. At least that was the initial reaction to when they released the manga. But they argued that they had basically fucked his character over, he would never act like this, so on, so on. But even though I disliked the ending, I think it was a good way to wrap up the entire series by saying, this was the entire story the entire time, it was always hinted at, it was always foreshadowed, it was always there. And I'm going to be honest, the majority of the Attack on Titan fans always knew it was never going to be a truly happy ending where Eren, Mikasa and Armin are fucking fine. One of them had to die. And I'm going to be honest, I wish it was Armin. But anyway, something I really did like about the ending was that Eren spoke to everyone individually, except for Peak. Fuck Peak. But the one thing I'm angry about, like I've just seen my wife get fucked by another guy, is that we only saw Armin's and Mikasa's POV. We didn't see anyone like Reiner's or John's. I think the interaction between him and Reiner would have been interesting to say the least. Like, this guy has been hardcore hating Reiner for like 5 fucking years, like almost massacring his family type shit. But no, we just get, oh, that was a great talk, Eren. Like, he gave him a pep talk before the big game. I would have really loved to see him talk to John and say, basically, don't steal my girl, please bro, please don't. I won't have a dick anymore when I'm in that ground. Like, there wasn't even like a panel in the manga like showing each of their conversation, it was just, great talk buddy. And I do hope something is later released explaining what happened in this conversation, except for Connie being told his mother's back. However, there is very good news. At the end you see a scene where it possibly could lead to a spin-off, and the creator Isayama has basically said he's coming out with a new chapter, even if it may be just artwork of a little story. And I do want to hope with my anal beads in my hand, praying to the Lord above, that, you know, Attack on Titan isn't over, and it doesn't get a very terrible spin-off. Or we get something where it goes over alternative endings, maybe where Eren has a happy fucking life instead of, I'm going to sacrifice myself to the world and kill 80%. You go bro, the tactical nuke was totally worth it. But although I'm mad about the ending and sad that the whole series has ended, it was a very good ride and I loved it throughout. Even though in Season 3 we basically had Play-Doh 3D models fighting each other, just saying, the Colossal Titan looked like Play-Doh. And the fact we had like 3 seasons cut in half and extended, and we had to wait and wait and wait, but they got their shit together in the end. It was very high quality and overall a good conclusion. But yeah, I'd definitely recommend watching the entirety of Attack on Titan, even if you already have just watched the last episode. Like, even for its age, the first season has so much foreshadowing. But that is going to wrap up the video. Enjoy this meme, and bye-bye.